is Emma Kong. For over 2,000 years, China saw more than a dozen dynasties and over 400 emperors. Among all these male sovereigns, there was hardly ever a place for a woman. But in the mighty Tang dynasty, one woman from a humble family changed everything. She first became a consort to the second Tang emperor, then the empress of the third emperor, and finally made herself the first and only female emperor in Chinese history. So who was this extraordinary woman? She was Wu Zetian. You have to wonder, in a world ruled entirely by men, how did one woman fight her way to the throne? And behind her rise to power, how many bloody rivalries and ruthless plots were buried in the shadows? Today, let's unravel the dramatic journey of China's only female emperor. The year was 637 CE. A 14-year-old girl named Wu Zetian was brought into the palace. Chosen for her beauty and youth to serve Emperor Taizong, the Tang dynasty's second ruler. At first, the emperor admired her. She was clever, quick-witted, and could paint beautifully. But his affection did not last long. As Taizong grew older and often fell ill, the young concubine soon found herself fading from his sight. Yet fate had already begun to turn. During Emperor Taizong's illness, Wu Zetian once cared for the sick crown prince, Li Zhi, who would later become the third Tang emperor. That quiet meeting lit the spark of one of China's most legendary love and power stories. When Emperor Taizong died, palace law was merciless. Any concubine without a royal child was sent away to live as a Buddhist nun. Wu Zetian seemed doomed to spend the rest of her life in silent seclusion. But then came the man who would change her fate forever. The new emperor, Li Zhi. Once Li Zhi took the throne as the new emperor, he couldn't forget the beautiful young woman who had once cared for him in his sickbed. Before long, he found a reason to visit the temple, an official ceremony to honor the gods. But in truth, it was a chance to bring Wu Zetian back to the palace as his own consort. The move caused a scandal across the royal court. Whispers and accusations spread through the palace halls. How could the former emperor's concubine now become the wife of his successor? And to make things even more shocking, Wu Zetian was already pregnant when she returned. Soon after, she gave birth to a son. Yet, the palace she returned to was far more dangerous than the temple she'd left behind. At the time, the empress still held the emperor's favor. Wu Zetian, newly returned to the palace, had no friends, no allies, no one to protect her. Yet, gaining the emperor's heart meant gaining a powerful enemy. Standing against a powerful and dangerous empress, she knew one thing for certain. If she failed to win the emperor's heart and gather supporters of her own, she could be cast out once again, back to the temple, to live alone in silence until the end of her days. Soon, Wu Zetian's cleverness and gentle charm won the emperor's favor. But it also made her the enemy of the powerful empress. Not long after, an event occurred in the palace, one that has been debated for more than 1,000 years. According to historical records, Wu Zetian gave birth to a baby girl, but the child mysteriously died of poisoning soon after birth. Wu Zetian brought what she claimed to be evidence of poisoning and tearfully accused the empress before the emperor, insisting it was the jealous empress who hated her, who had killed their daughter. The emperor was furious, deposed the empress, and made Wu Zetian the new empress. But here's the dark question that still divides historians. Was Wu Zetian a tragic mother demanding justice, or a ruthless woman who sacrificed her own baby to destroy her rival and seize the crown? Even today, no one truly knows the answer. As the new empress, Wu Zetian wasn't satisfied with ruling only the palace women. The emperor's health was failing. He spent long stretches sick in bed. Seizing the opportunity, Wu Zetian began to step into the affairs of state. With remarkable intelligence, she cleverly undermined the old aristocratic ministers who had served the previous emperor, and instead promoted fresh talent from poor families, men who owed their rise entirely to her, and pledged their loyalty to Wu Zetian alone. Piece by piece, she built a power network that answered to her. But her growing influence soon made even her own children a threat. The emperor named Wu Zetian's son as the crown prince. But the prince, along with the ministers loyal to him, resented Wu Zetian for overstepping the emperor's rule. To tighten her grip on power, Wu Zetian went so far as to remove and replace her own sons as heirs to the throne again and again. Many say this was her most ruthless side. When forced to choose between a mother's love and power, she chose power. When her husband, Emperor Li Zhi, passed away, Wu Zetian ruled the empire under the title of Empress Dowager. She placed two of her own sons on the throne, but everyone knew she held the real power behind the scenes. Then, at the age of 67, Wu Zetian went a step further. She deposed her own son from the throne and declared herself the sixth emperor of the Tang dynasty. That day, she became China's first and only female emperor. But Wu Zetian wasn't just a powerful ruler. She was also a reformer. As emperor, Wu Zetian quickly showed her brilliance. She created a brand new exam system that gave talented young men from poor families a chance to become officials and serve their country. Under her rule, the economy thrived, society enjoyed remarkable stability, and with the string of victories in foreign wars, the empire's borders grew to the largest reach in China's history. But power and glory never last forever. As Wu Zetian grew older, she began to trust no one. Suspicion turned her ruthless. She even ordered the death of any officials she suspected of betrayal. No one dared to oppose her orders. At 81 years old, the ministers had finally had enough. They staged a coup, forcing Wu Zetian to give up the throne. Not long after, the once powerful empress fell ill and passed away. Her death did not silence her story. For over 1,000 years, people have held very different opinions about Wu Zetian. Some praise her as an outstanding emperor and stateswoman who led China into one of its most glorious eras in history. Others criticize her for being ruthless and power-hungry, placing power above even her own sons. Wu Zetian's legendary life changed the traditional perception of women in China, proving that women too could become emperor and rule a nation. Even today, her legendary story continues to be told and debated. So what do you think of Wu Zetian? A brilliant leader who changed history, or a ruthless ruler who put power above all else? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more stories of Asia's most fascinating figures. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next story.